Maslow overturned. Maslow's theory of the hierarchy of human needs illustrates the priority of man that actually motivates human behavior in the real world, a priority centered on the acquisition of things. Jesus, however, turns Maslow's list upside down. The kingdom of heaven is different from the kingdoms of men. From the perspective of the kingdom of heaven, the priorities of man, Maslow's list, are perverted. Mankind's life focus has become twisted far from God's original intent. Consider the words of Jesus. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Look at the birds of the air, they do not sow or reap or store away in barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the sea, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Matthew 6:25-30. Notice that the first thing Jesus says is, don't worry about your life. Yet that is exactly what we do. Our days are filled with worries about the very things Jesus said we should not worry about: food, drink, clothing, all the basic necessities of life. Our every waking moment is filled with thoughts and worries about how to get ahead and stay ahead. In our world today, most people approach life in one of two ways: either they work to live or they live to work. Jesus said that both approaches are wrong. He said, is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? There is more to life than working, even acquiring basic necessities. Work is important, but it does not or should not define us. Our life priority and purpose do not center on work. This is important to know because if we miss our true priority in life, we will miss our true purpose in life. Jesus said, do not worry. Worry is the most useless exercise in the world. Why? Because it doesn't change anything. Most of us spend our time worrying either about things that will never happen or about things that we cannot change. Either way, worrying is pointless. Worry changes nothing, yet it consumes our energy, time, talents, our gifts, our wisdom, and our knowledge. It even consumes our imagination. The only thing worry contributes is to making us sick. Studies have identified worry-related stress as the #1 cause of high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. Stress causes veins and arteries to constrict, hindering blood flow, and causing the blood to back up toward the heart, thus increasing pressure on the heart. This elevates the risk of heart attack and stroke. Worry gets us nowhere. It simply isn't worth our time or trouble. We worry because we have misplaced priorities, which causes us then to have misplaced faith. Look at the two examples Jesus gave, the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. The birds do not sow or reap or store away food, yet they never go hungry. Likewise, the lilies of the field do not spin fabric and make clothing, yet they are dressed in beauty and elegance that not even King Solomon could match. Why? Because God himself feeds the birds and dresses the oars. Notice that Jesus said of the birds, your heavenly Father feeds them. He did not say, their heavenly Father. Our heavenly Father is the same one who takes care of the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. The word Father, Abba in Hebrew, means source and sustainer. So the phrase could read, your heavenly source and sustainer feed them. Jesus' question to us, then, is, if your heavenly source and sustainer takes care of the birds and the lilies, which are here today and gone tomorrow, don't you think he will take care of you, too? Our problem today is that we have misplaced our faith. We have changed our source. Instead of looking to our Heavenly Father, we look either to ourselves or to someone else, parent, spouse, employer, government, to sustain us. After all, since we live in a dog-eat-dog, every man for himself world, we have to get, scrape and scramble for everything we can get and then hold on to it with a white-knuckle grip. Right? That is the priority and mindset of the world, not of the kingdom of heaven. Who is your source? If you are looking to anyone other than God the Father and King of Heaven as your source, that may explain why you are struggling and why your life just won't come together. If, on the other hand, you make God your source, then He calls the shots. And if He calls the shots, He pays the bills.